Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to discuss the stock market and also AMC and the APE dividend. All right, most of you should have already got that today. It should show up in any of the trading accounts that you have AMC. Now, one thing I'm going to say, folks, is that they do not want this wealth transfer to happen. And I'm getting ready to go over some things and show you some things just to show you how deep this thing goes, at least the way that I look at this. All right, because there's a lot of stuff out there, there's a lot of information out there. We know what they're trying to do, but you know what they're doing is blatant, and they're doing it to our face, and they're laughing behind the scenes. But at some point, all that is going to catch up with them. Now, today, the stock market down 643 points. And I know most of you are like, what is going on? For the last 3 weeks, everything kind of seemed like to be on the up and up. Things were, looking decent. And in one day, down 643 points. So I'm looking for the different reasonings. Okay. And I go to this article here from Reuters. Wall Street ends sharply, lower on fears of aggressive Fed. Wall Street ended sharply on Monday as investors fretted about a U.S. Federal Reserve gathering later this week in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, that is expected to reinforce a strong commitment by the central bank to stamp out inflation. Right? And there's a couple corporations that, they didn't do so well, but we've been seeing that for like the last couple months. And yet, on very important dates, we've seen basically the markets react differently than what they should have. Focuses on Fed Chair Jerome Powell's speech on Friday at the Central Banking Conference in Jackson Hole for further cues on how aggressively the Fed is likely to be with future interest rate hikes. Powell's trying to sound hawkish to tamp down inflationary expectations and tighten financial conditions, so that's most likely to be a negative catalyst for the market. The Fed will probably raise interest rates by 50 basis points in September, according to economists polled by Reuters. Okay, and I'm not going to read any more of this crap, okay, because this is what it is, 643 points, all right? And do you guys remember the video that I did about watch out for these dates in July, the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th? Do you remember those days? Let me go ahead and go to Yahoo History. So I have here, right, Yahoo Finance, the historical open and close for the Dow Jones. Right? This was supposed to be July 26th to the 28th. That whole week was supposed to be hell week. Right? Remember, we had that Federal Reserve meeting where 75 basis points was going to be done again. And then we had the GDP numbers and the whole thing with recession. And you can see here, even they had one day that was negative for closing that week. And this was supposed to be bad news. Raising the rates by 75 basis points. On that day, the Dow closed up 322 points higher. That Tuesday, it was down 189, right? The 26th, right? The 27th, it was up 322 points. Negative GDP growth for 2 quarters in a row, and the stock market was up 322 points. And then even the day after, right? 329 points. And you need to tell me that the Dow's down by 643 points because they're worried about the Fed being hawkish and they're worried about a 75 basis points raise? That is absolutely garbage of what they're telling you. And they said what their focus is on his speech on Friday. Well, we're not here on Friday, right? So there's a couple of these articles that I read that just give all these stupid excuses for the reason why the Dow has tumbled over 643 points today, right? And guess what? When that happens, it's going to take the rest of the stock market down with it. And unfortunately, on this day, the APE dividend was handed out, right? And AMC ended up down. It opened up at $11.33, and it closed out currently right now in the after hours is $10.68. It reached a high of $13.05. This is after the split with the APE, right? Then we have the APE share, which is currently trading at $6.22, right? It opened up at $6.95. It reached a high of $10.50, and a low of $5.21. So what actually happened with APE? What actually happened with AMC? Well, apparently APE was halted multiple times over a very short period of time to keep it from running up. Okay, then I have this tweet here by AMC Cheerleader. Please explain at the SEC Gov how APE was halted 7 times illegally. Top 2 most bought stocks today, and both in red in price with over 90% buys. There were more people buying AMC and APE than they were selling all day. What happened today, you're seeing manipulation at its finest coming from the elite. MSM hard at spreading FUD. Peaked APE down to $5.36. Volume in AMC APE $255 million. Both over 50% drop and closed at $16.59. All right, so I'm going to share some things about this because this kind of really burns me up with what's going on here. And this is one of the reasons why, it doesn't matter what stock you're involved in, folks. They control and they can manipulate any stock at any time that they want, whether they want it to go up or down, right? And if they don't want certain people to get rich, they don't want a class of people to get rich, they are going to do everything they can to make it happen and laugh at you at the same time while they're doing it. The mainstream media itself is complicit in all this. If you look at, we know that there was basically a dividend that was giving out, and it was basically going to be a stock split. So, yes, we expected AMC to go down, right? Because of this, right? It was going to reflect in the price because it's one APE and one AMC equaled the amount of how much it was worth on Friday when it closed out. The mainstream media was out today spreading disinformation. And this is just the beginning. This article here, AMC tumbles as UK Cineworld mulls bankruptcy filing. Right, you go down here to the bottom. AMC Entertainment tumbled 42% after the cinema's chain's preferred stock listing started in trading, and its UK-based rival Cineworld Group warned of a possible bankruptcy filing. Well, wait a minute. It's down 42% because it split. Right? I'm not done yet. Right? When I typed in the Dow down, that was it. Wanting to get look for reasons why they were saying the Dow is down. The first thing that I get is the Wall Street Journal, Stock Market Live. Dow closes down 600 points. AMC stock slides 40% after APE units debut. Okay, so that was already expected, but you see the title and how they are trying to shape and form the narrative. Right, keep going down. Why is the stock market down today? Dow slides, AMC plunges. You see what they're doing, right? This is the mainstream media. This is not all. Jim Cramer, right? The same thing. AMC down because of Cineworld and Regal, but CEO Adam will rally the APE troops. Surprised they are bailing. No, we didn't bail. There were actually more buys than sells. And when I saw this, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, did they forget what was going to happen with APE? Did they forget about how AMC, the price was going to come down? And so he didn't even bring that up. He still hasn't deleted the tweet, right? Because he doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever. But this is them laughing at us. Even Kitco got in on it. And I was very surprised that, they didn't even talk about, it came down because of the stock split, right? They don't do that when a stock goes through a stock split. They don't talk about how much it's going down and give some other excuse about another company is going to file for bankruptcy. And here we go. Here's a tweet. Please explain from I Am Chaka. Please explain why APE was halted 12 times today. Every single halt was on its way up. 12 halts on day one, and many investors haven't even received their APE shares into their account yet. APE, this stock was halted 12 times. This is why I say they do not want you to get wealthy. They are not doing this with other stocks, by the way. So somebody here posted some of the halts that took place, and this was actually before noon. 18 seconds, 2 minutes and 52 seconds, 3 minutes and 40 seconds, 4 minutes and 58 seconds. Somebody else replied and said another Said 1 minute, 32 seconds, 28 seconds. So imagine a stock is being halted and then 28 seconds later it's being halted again. And it's not like it was taking off. The highest that it got today was what, $10.50? The mainstream media is going along exactly with what the elite want to do. They want to try to stop this, folks, and it's going to come. So I want to play a short clip from Andrew Tate. I don't agree with everything that he says. He's very controversial or whatever, but what he's saying right here struck me when I heard this, and then I'm applying this to this whole situation within the stock market. And he did talk about the whole thing with AMC and the hedge funds. He did talk about that, and maybe I'll discuss it in another video, but he specifically was saying basically that he had the apes back and that he was willing to put money up to fight against the hedge funds. So this is a tweet here by Hodge Twins, and it's entitled, "It's Always Been About Power."
Who are in charge of the world are not motivated by what most people think they're motivated by. I've had a lot of people who are semi-awake come to me and say, yeah, all this stuff, it's all about money, it's all about profit. And I sit there and say, okay, but I would actually feel a lot more comfortable with the world if it was as simple as money and profit. I think it's far more sinister than that. And I think it's truly about brutal power. They don't care about profit. They don't care about money. They print the money. This is not about money. This is about just putting their foot on top of humanity and squashing it for nothing other than an ego trip. I really do believe it's about that. I believe they enjoyed things like vaccine passports simply to make us stay home so that when they don't stay home, it was a big joke. Ha ha ha. Look at them stuck in their house. I think they enjoyed it on that primal evil level. I think it's genuinely evil. I don't think it's anything to do with money. I think it's purely just power trip. I don't know how deep and how dark we're going to go down on this podcast, but even if you look at a lot of the disgusting things that are happening on islands around the world, I truly think that a lot of that is driven by the fact that not only is it disgusting and they're sexual deviants, but it's also about the fact that look what we can do that other people are not allowed to do. It's power. They just want to feel important and special. And money's not enough anymore. Money, when you're born with money, money does not make you feel important and special. They need something else to satisfy their disgustingly large demonic egos. And if that means locking everyone in their house so they can't see their grandma, so be it. And I say this to people and they say, no, surely that's too simple an explanation that the people in charge of the world are just power tripping. No, it's not too simple an explanation. That's exactly what is happening. When you tell a full-grown adult to wear a mask, go and walk and sit down in a restaurant, take it off, eat, stand up and put it back on to walk to go piss, and then walk back, take it off and sit down and eat. That's pure power game. That's nothing to do with science, nothing to do with saving lives. That's just ha ha ha, look what the peasants will do on command. That's all it is. What else could it possibly be?
This has gone from being about money to being about power. And what's happening within the stock market, manipulating it in any way they want it to go. And on the very same day that AMC, you receive your APE dividend, that the Dow is all of a sudden scared because of a hawkish Fed. They might raise the federal interest rates by 75 basis points, which we've been knowing for months now that they were probably going to raise it like that for a while. It should already be priced in, and the meeting is not even until Friday. So they're scared now when that whole week of the GDP numbers and the economy not doing so well, and they raised the interest rates by 75 basis points, but yet you see how the markets reacted. They reacted positively. And I'm sharing this article. This is back from January of 2021. NASDAQ CEO Adena Friedman on monitoring stock trading fueled by social media. So I looked into this. And so there are companies out there that monitor social media and what people are saying as far as what stocks are trading and so forth. So even if we all got on here, the whole wealth transfer community, and we all said we're all going to invest in one particular stock, right? And it just spread like wildfire. They are going to know, especially if a lot of the chatter is on like public groups and so forth, right? If you have a private group, it's going to be a lot harder to keep track of that unless, say, like a Facebook group, unless Facebook is selling that information. And they're monitoring that because these are your average everyday people trying to become wealthy, trying to come out of debt, right? So they don't want this to happen. So they are monitoring what social media is saying. They say, oh, well, this is all about manipulation and influence, and we don't want that to happen, when very well they are already doing it. You saw what has happened with AMC over the past year and a half. You've seen what's happened with GameStop. You've seen what's happened with the shorting, right? You've seen how they can manipulate the entire markets, and just today just being ridiculous, and the amount of fake media in their news and how they portray and how they spit out this image as if AMC is falling because of another movie theater chain is going to file bankruptcy, which has nothing to do with AMC, right? And at the same time, they halted APE 12 times. Why? Because they did not want us to get rich. So they know on social media, they know all the stocks at any given time. When a stock that is talked about among people around social media, like you want to talk about BBBY, right, which is not the BBB from Kim Clement, and I'll get into that in another video. But you saw what happened with that, right? Everybody thought it was going to squeeze. Instead, it went into the opposite direction, right? Some people made some money, but it didn't go up to the hundreds of dollars that people thought it was going to go to. And so they know, and they're watching, and they are listening. And I do believe at this point now that they are using popular YouTubers to make certain moves too as well. So when it comes to like dealing with the wealth transfer, when we do put out these videos, sometimes it's good not to always everybody all at once, start talking about the same investment, right? Because that's exactly how they're going to catch on to what is it exactly is being talked about among the wealth transfer community. So the APE dividend is currently sitting at right now in the after hours of $6.35. It did drop to $5.21. I did pick some up, not very many, but a few more. AMC is at $10.46. The other thing that I expect is for them, until at some point when God says enough is enough, then the stock is going to get exploded. It is not going to matter how many times they halt the stock. It's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. There's going to come a time when that is going to happen. One thing that struck me about what Andrew said was they don't care about money because they can print it, right? And I was thinking also too about Citadel borrowing another $600 million for trading. And I'm sitting here thinking they're always going to have the money, because when they need money, they'll just print money. If you have $50 billion, when you think about the type of wealth that some of these people have, it all becomes all about power. Money is just a tool. But today you witness one of the greatest moments in market manipulation history. So folks, even though it was a very bad day within the stock market overall, I am not really too concerned about this. So that's all I have for today, folks. We're just going to sit back, and for me, I'm just going to wait out this week to see what happens. And this is going to happen at some point in time. There are prophetic dreams and visions showing this. So it's just a matter of time before this AMC wealth transfer takes place. So anyways, folks, just hold on and let's see where this thing goes. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.